Hello, welcome back to Salty Sunshine. This is your host, Lisa. I am so happy to be back here to talk some shiz. I have so much to talk about. I'm gonna leave Tell Me Lies for the end because that's a dive. I think this is the last season because, they're getting married. I don't know. I mean, I guess it could go on, but I think this is last season, season three. So I'll get into that. Congrats to Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots for they're in the Super Bowl coming February 8th. Um, the Super Bowl is always fun. The snacks, the festivities. I hate that it's so late though, because it's always on a Sunday and then you got to work. And so I think the Super Bowl should be earlier. Bad Bunny's performing. We already have some commercials out, like the Kendall Jenner Super Bowl ad. She's making fun of the Kardashian curse and her ex-boyfriends. It's kind of good. And yeah, so this is a little old news, but I just wanted to say the whole Dax Shepard having his wife and Cher on his podcast, Armchair Expert, I think. I thought Cher was really rude to him, and I don't know why his wife allowed that. If I'm your wife, I'm not letting some lady come and like disrespect my husband like that. I thought it was really rude. She basically says she doesn't know what she sees in Dax, and obviously there's something I'm not seeing, she told him in his face. And I just thought that was really rude. Like, no. I don't care who you are. I think that's rude. So I just wanted to say that. He was a good sport about it, but I don't think that's okay. Can you imagine a guy saying that to a woman? I don't know what he sees in you. There's obviously something there. I don't know what it is. It's just this double standard. And yes, men and women are different. We can move differently in this world. We have to. We're very different. But an insult is an insult is an insult. And I thought that was rude. He should have told her, I don't know what your 20-year-old boyfriend sees in you. I'd never date an 80-year-old. He should have done that. That would have been so crazy. Oh my God. Um, Last week, the internet went crazy with Brooklyn Beckham and his story posts about his family drama, which is really his mother and his wife drama. It's really about the mother and the wife, Victoria Beckham versus Nicola Peltz. I did notice on Brooklyn Beckham's um, Instagram, I think he put Peltz in front of Beckham as if he took her last name, which was weird. Um, Also, so he comes out there saying he hasn't talked to his parents. He doesn't want to reconcile. He doesn't talk to his entire family. I mean, do they not have aunts and uncles and grandparents? I think he just means his parents and his siblings, and basically airing the dirty laundry. And it seems to all focus around their wedding. And Victoria Beckham was going to design her dress and quote unquote pulled out at the 11th hour, but that's not true because everyone knows it's documented that they were working on her dress, the other designer, for a year, and I think it was Valentino. So there's some, not lies, but there's stuff that doesn't add up. And in his statement, the dress, and then he said the mom got up for their first dance was supposed to be him and his wife, and Mark Anthony called up Victoria Beckham saying she was the most beautiful girl in the room, but that's not her fault. That's Mark Anthony's fault. And that she was inappropriately grinding on him. Well, he didn't say that, but he made it sound like that, which I thought was inappropriate because we all know that she didn't do that. Maybe he didn't like it, but I mean, I don't think she's being like that with him. Um, it just sounds silly to me. I think he made a huge mistake. Obviously, everyone thinks that it's the wife that pushed him to do that and that she even wrote the text. So I think he should have never aired the dirty laundry. They're the freaking Beckhams. They're Posh Spice and David freaking Beckham. Bend it like Beckham. These are your famous ass parents that gave you your amazing ass life. They're pretty decent people. There's nothing you said that's out of the ordinary that nobody would kill to trade places with you. I mean, obviously your experience is fine and that's how you feel. And I don't think he's a bad guy or anything, but it does sound entitled and bratty, and you don't spill dirty laundry. Did you not learn from Harry, the Royals? Like, come on. You don't spill your dirty laundry. If you wanted to say something, you could just say, I'm estranged from my parents and my siblings. We're not getting along. You don't have to give details because that's wild. And then say respect my privacy. That's wild. But that's what he did. And the memes that came out of her dancing were everything. And I hope she had a really good laugh because that is funny. Although she's probably devastated because I can't imagine, birthing your child, you give your world to your kid, and then they come and gut punch you, and that's the crazy. Um, so Nick Viall and his wife Natalie Joy, they get so much hate. Um, and I just think people need to take this with a grain of salt. Just because you don't agree with someone doesn't mean you have to hate them entirely. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy a film, enjoy music. Just because somebody screwed up on one end doesn't mean, I mean, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. The internet is wild. Anyways, they're getting all this heat because their new Netflix trailer dropped. They have a show coming out called The Age of Attraction, something like that. And it's a date. They're trying to be Vanessa and Nick Lachey up here. And the weird part is it's Nick and Natalie's show as a Nick and Vanessa Lachey type of thing, heading up the show, but they completely took Nick out of the promo. And again, what is going on, Netflix? Do you think we're stupid? We already know Nick is part of it. He's going to be on the show. Did you take him out of the entire show? If you didn't take him out of the entire show, why the hell are you taking him out of the promo? Apparently, they think that's a good idea because if Nick got heat recently or something, who knows? But why take him out of the show? That makes no sense. You can see his shoulder next to Natalie. It's so ridiculous. But what's more ridiculous is that the whole premise of the show is that you're going on dates with people that you don't know their age, but you have eyes and you're not blindfolded. So yeah, you kind of know their age. You're looking at them. They're right in front of you. There's this blonde lady in the promo. You could tell she's in her 60s. I mean, or late 50s. That's not a secret. And the guy looks like he's 30. So I don't get it. They're too old for you is the point, or too young for you. So it's so silly. I think it's going to flop. I feel like they keep trying to make this move, just like Nick he hosted the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and that went terribly. And then I don't know. I hope it doesn't flop, for their sake. I don't like to see people fail, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good, but we'll have to wait and see. I just think the premise is so crazy. They put you on a date with someone you're looking at and say you don't know their age. Yeah, you do. It's so ridiculous. I can't even believe they went through with that. I don't know. Anyways, then on Netflix, another thing on Netflix, this man climbing the building. It's so wild. They broadcasted it semi-live. There was a 10-second delay in case he fell and died, right? It's just crazy. This guy, Alex Honnold, he did it in Taipei. He climbed 101 climb. Was it 101 stories? Yeah, so he's married with two little girls, and he does this. I guess he has another film too. I think this is not the first time he's done this. He has another documentary called Free Solo. And so he climbed this live. I never even heard about it. So how did people even know it was coming on Netflix? I don't know. I don't get it. But he climbed this building. It took about an hour and a half. And they had a plan. So there was a bunch of balconies. So they're like, he might die right away if he falls, or because there's all these balconies, maybe he'll survive. So the plan was a 10-second delay, allowing producers to react before anything aired. Instant cutaway. In the event of a fall, cameras were instructed to immediately switch to a very wide view, avoiding close-ups of the incident. Emergency script. Hosts were provided with note cards to address the tragedy on air, confirming a fall had occurred, and the broadcast and promise updates. Survivor plan. While Honnold acknowledged a fall would likely be fatal, he noted that the skyscraper structure, including balconies every few floors, meant survival was technically possible depending on where it happened. This is ridiculous. I don't think they should air crap like this. I mean, this behavior should not be encouraged. He had nothing connected to him. It's a free thing. It was raining before he started, which caused a delay in starting, which is even worse because is the building wet? I mean, it's just crazy. And with two little girls, that's just horrible. I think they're a climbing family or hiking and climbing family. I think him and his wife do this regularly, but after having two small kids, your priorities should change. And that's just crazy. And I think even the two little girls, they go on all these hikes and they go camping and hiking, and those poor girls, they're probably suffering. They're probably suffering going on all these stupid hikes and stuff and getting bit by mosquitoes and having to walk to the end of the world as little girls. Not cool. But so that was on. Another show coming out, The Fifth Wheel. Now, again, I don't want to see people fail. I have zero confidence that this will be a good show. I could be wrong. I could be surprised. They might prove me wrong, but there's no way. I don't care if Nikki Glazer, Fortune Feimster, Brenda Song, Eva Longoria's directing it. The fact that Kim Kardashian is in this, immediately no. Kim cannot act. Not only can she not act, she's silly. She cannot take herself out and actually relax the fillers and Botox and maybe be real on camera. Nobody wants to see Kim Kardashian fake acting. So it's about a circle of friends that are trying to reconnect in Vegas. And it gets interrupted by get this original idea. The hot chick, that comes into the picture, which is Kim Kardashian. I mean, can she play anything else? This is what I mean. It's just, she's so silly. A hot outsider played by Kim Kardashian crashes a weekend. They're forced to face their messy lives, bad decisions, and unraveling friendships. This sounds like the worst show, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because you know what? Nikki Glazer's in there, Fortune Feimster, all these people are in it. So just like the other cast on Hulu, all these amazing actors are in it, and it's a flop. I know they're going to do a second season. I know people are watching it, but it's the worst show on television. I don't care how many seasons they do. I don't care how many people watch it. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I love to consume content, and if there's a fabric of goodness in it, I'm not going to hate on it. I couldn't even watch 2 episodes. It was so bad. So we'll see. I don't know. Is Nikki Glazer, has she ever acted before? Don't know. Fortune Feimster is awesome and funny, and I think she's acted a bunch, so she could do the job. But I just think, why does Kim have to be part of this? She's not the person to make your show a hit. Or even, it might be a hit just because people will watch it out of sheer wanting to see what it's about. But, oh, I hate when they do stuff like this. It's just so obvious. Speaking of Kim, she was on Khloe Kardashian's podcast. What's it called? Neverland or something. And she, in Kim ways, did not keep it real. She said a lot of nothing. They asked her about Taylor Swift. She says she still listens to her old songs and has it on a playlist. She hasn't gone grocery shopping in 6 years. I mean, okay. She admitted that Britney Spears, that whole picture that came out, that Britney Spears was over the Kardashians and in their bed having like a slumber party, it's not because they know each other, hang out. It's because Britney wanted to come over and they thought, oh, she's so sweet. And they wanted to raise her spirit. It was very weird. I didn't listen to the podcast, but I saw a clip and I have notes like of some stuff she talked about. But it's almost like they didn't invite her over because they actually hang out and know each other. It was because her publicist or someone, her manager, somebody reached out to them. I think that's so bizarre. That's very bizarre. So that was that. She said the Meghan Markle thing, she thought it was silly that they had to take it down because they had another event and they didn't okay it. But then Kim thought it might be good to put in her Skims campaign so everyone would think they were cool regardless, because they were. Whatever. They talked about purging clutter and chaos and beauty secrets. The one thing she talked about that I thought was like such baloney. She said she was asked about Larsa Pippen. So her and Larsa Pippen were friends for like 20 years. All of a sudden, and then Courtney hung out with her when she was with that gorgeous guy Eunice, and when Courtney was the hottest ever before her downfall in fashion and looks. She's so beautiful, but her fashion's so bad that it makes her not look beautiful because she's dressing like she's Travis. Does she forget that Travis fell for her when she was hot? So now that you're with him, why would you revert to dressing emo and like a man when he fell for you, you were hot because you were straight off the press from the other hot guy, Eunice, and you were the hottest you've ever been. So why change that? I don't get it. I think she's slowly going back to trying to be hot. That's my take, I think, from what I've seen on her Instagram. But anyways, she hung out with Larsa. Courtney hung out with Larsa a lot when she was with that hot guy Eunice. Then the whole family stopped talking to Larsa. Something happened. You don't. She's on Chloe's podcast trying to make it sound like I love Larsa. Our kids go to the same school. We just grew apart. We just grew apart. She didn't even say grew apart. She said they're organically distant themselves. Like it just happened, which is such a lie. She's bold-faced lying, and that annoys me to no end. Like just like her fat injections in her butt, she's lying. Something happened with Larsa. Period. She was like glue with Courtney. Courtney obviously had to stop talking to her for the sake of whatever happened, that everyone stopped talking to her. You're not going to tell me that nothing happened there because guess what? If your kids go to the same school, why don't you talk now? Even if it's less than it used to be. Why don't you ever say hello, ever keep in touch, ever say happy birthday, ever see each other out? You've never talked again, ever. Something happened. So why lie to us? Don't even ask the question if you're going to lie about it. That drives me crazy. It's so obvious something happened. It's so obvious. And I even think Larsa mentioned something about Tristan and Chloe. Something happened. So don't act like it didn't. Anyways, I don't think she keeps it real. So I wouldn't want to listen to it. She was dressed crazy too. Another thing, like she's dressing, she looked like Michael Jackson or something. Kim's fashion, just like Courtney's, has really gone down. They should take it back. Take it back to the 90s. Take it back to the simple life. Let's revert. Let's get that youthful feeling back. They dress so crazy to me. Courtney, I mean, I think I did see Chloe say that she watches The Housewives. I mean, that's why Chloe's everyone's favorite. Chloe keeps it real, at least more real than the other people. I think Courtney kind of keeps it real too. Even if she's bitchy or annoying, that's keeping it real. That's her mood at the moment. But Chloe watches the Real Housewives. She's just one of us. And Kim says she's never watched it, which again, red flag. um, so funny. So I did see North is on tour with her dad, Kanye, and she's singing on stage with her long blue hair and her black grill in her mouth. And I just hope and pray that Northwest doesn't go down, those childhood star routes. I hope, she doesn't get Amanda Bynes or Britney Spears because when you start so young in the public eye and you're given too much free reign, kids should not have free reign like that. They don't know, they don't have good decision making, their frontal lobes not formed. They make decisions that unfortunately it's a domino effect and it could get worse and worse and worse and they kind of get lost. And it's not about good or bad, it's just about a path that you don't want to go down because you never come back. And I just hope that doesn't happen to her. I think she's too young to be doing all this stuff and be, susceptible to all the people around. I don't know. I think she's a sweet girl, and I hope that she doesn't get into any of that lifestyle. I did post earlier. I saw that New York Housewives Roni, they're rebooting it with some of the original cast because Sonia's from season 3. Kelly Bensimon is on there. She's also season 3 and up. And then so it's Ramona, Luann de Lesseps, Jill Zarin, Sonia, and Kelly Bensimon, which I don't want to see Kelly Bensimon I think she's going to ruin the vibes on the show, but it's going to go to the E channel, which used to be in the same network as Bravo, but it's no longer. It was bought out by some other company. So it's a rival now. It's a competitor. So it has nothing to do with Peacock, Bravo, none of that, NBC. It's a completely different network. So that's going to be interesting. I don't have that channel and I don't have the cable. So for me to watch it, I don't know how I'm going to watch it. So that's supposed to come out at the end of February. I'm assuming it's going to be in Florida. Most of the women live in Florida. I think Kelly Bensimone's the only one that lives in New York, and maybe she'll just move to Florida for a little bit. I don't know. Luanda Lesseps might also live in New York. I'm sure she'll just move to Florida, but that's going to be interesting. I wish Alex McCord was there. I really liked her, and she's an original. Obviously, Bethany's not going to be there with everything that's happened, but that should be interesting. Claudia from the Toast. Claudia and Jackie from the Toast. She posted a TikTok and she was telling everybody, for all of you that stand up and do your makeup and hair in the bathroom, you're crazy. That could never be me. She said something like that. And I'm watching it. I do my makeup and hair standing in the bathroom every day of my life, all my life. I've never had a vanity. And it made me think, is it that crazy to do that? I do my hair and makeup every day standing in the bathroom. Granted, I don't do a lot of makeup. I don't do setting or contour. I mean, I do like a tiny bit of contour. It takes 2 seconds. I don't bake. I don't put that much makeup on, but I put regular makeup on. And I do my hair, and I've never had a vanity. I don't know. Is that nuts? So funny. Coming to town, Love is Blind season 10. They're going to do it in Ohio. It drops February 11th. It always drops right around Valentine's Day, and I'm very excited. It's one of my favorite shows. And Alex Earl's getting a reality show on Netflix. They're trying to, I guess, be the next Love Thy Nader. So that should be good. What else? What? Oh, okay. So Blake Lively and the Baldoni stuff, all the text messages released. Holy cow. I'm not like I'm kind of fatigued. I don't care about this story as far as digging in it. I just see it, but I don't know how at this point people like Nick Viall and other people that support Blake. You can support Blake. I still like her as an actor. I'm not one of those people that gets knee deep involved just because one thing happens. I can still appreciate a movie or whatever, or show. But I think Blake is completely in the wrong here just from my assessment, my point of view. I don't know these people. Nobody was there, but I can't imagine anybody that thinks Blake still had the right to sue him. There was no sexual harassment. I think some people found him annoying, eye roll, and creepy. That is not a lawsuit. That's not, a Harvey Weinstein asking you into his office to judge just privates. That's sexual harassment lawsuit. This is not that, and I think it's been proven, and it's pretty clear that Blake just didn't like him or did like him and was weird about it, but he annoyed her and she wanted to take over the set. I think this is about not getting along and has nothing to do with sexual harassment. Just because you find someone creepy, that's not sexual harassment. Just because someone says something inappropriate once or twice, that's not sexual harassment unless it's touch me or talking about your boot. There's no proof of it. So anyone like Nick Viall that keeps saying she has a right to feel safe, she doesn't have a right to not feel creepy about somebody. People have a right to be creepy. There's so many people out there I can't stand. They rub me the wrong way. That doesn't mean you can sue them. That doesn't mean they did anything wrong per se. It's just, it's not your cup of tea, which is fine. I just don't, that's my take on it. I don't know. All these text messages and everything, it creeps me out to think that if you get in any legal anything that that the government can seize your text messages and read them to the world, that is so scary to me, to the point that I feel like I'm never going to text anyone anything interesting or juicy again, because I would die if the world read my text messages out there. I think it's so crazy. Your private conversations being aired to the world. That's crazy. I think that should be outlawed. They should keep that private in the court. They shouldn't let anybody listen to it in public because it's private. And what if you didn't do anything wrong? And at the end of the day, now people have all this leverage to misconstrue what you said and make it look, text messages could be read, interpreted in all different ways. And I hate that. I don't think that should be allowed. With Love Meghan Markle, or with Love Meghan by Meghan Markle, is canceled. It's not coming back. I don't know what's going on with Meghan, but I think it's safe to say she's one of these people that wants to get paid a ton of money for doing as little as possible and have it be the biggest hit ever. Her podcast, her show, I think she doesn't want to put in the work, and she wants a lot for nothing. That's what it looks like. Because again, I don't know why all her endeavors keep stopping, failing. So that's Meghan Markle. True crime updates. The Au Pair affair. I don't know if you guys have been following this guy that is married. He was married in Virginia, and Brendan Banfield, and they hired an au pair from Brazil and to take help with the baby, and he started having an affair with her. And after about a year of that, they plotted to kill the wife because he didn't want to get divorced and pay child support, who knows. And then they hired this sex worker to come act out a rape fantasy with the wife without the wife knowing, and they pretended this guy just showed up at the house and was attacking her, and they killed them both. So the guy they hired got killed, and the wife got killed by the husband, and now they're both on trial. And now the au pair, the woman, her name is Juliana, she turned on Brendan, the husband, to get a lesser sentence. So Brendan is pleading not guilty. He's saying he never set this up. He's saying that the girl, Juliana, that he's downplaying their affair. And he's kind of saying she's only doing this because she doesn't want to spend time in jail. So he's saying she's a liar. I never did that. The reason I killed the guy is because he was attacking my wife. And I don't know what he said about the wife. Maybe he's blaming it on the guy. I don't know. But he's saying not guilty. And the girl's saying, I don't know. This is one of those cases. Who's telling the truth? How do we know? How do we know? Because I think the girl, Juliana, the au pair, also killed or stabbed or shot someone in the midst of all this. So is she lying to save her ass? But then if she's lying, that doesn't mean the husband didn't kill them and help plot. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is a crazy story. I don't know, again, how men continue to try to get out of things by murder instead of just legal action like a divorce. That poor daughter, I don't know who she's with, probably a family member. The other true crime story is the Tepe murder, the Ohio dentist with his wife. There's new information coming out. So first of all, this woman was married to her ex-husband that's a surgeon like 10 years ago or more. So it's been forever. So this guy's been completely obsessed with her ever since. He's a Chicago surgeon. And apparently he shows up for the video hearing, and he seemed to have no interest in being there. He had zero emotion. He thinks, which they say a lot of surgeons have, that God complex, and he thinks he's the smartest person in the room and has no time for you and all this. Even now, he's pleading not guilty on top of everything, which is crazy because he obviously did it. So I think he thinks this is the person working the homicide. He said, I think he thinks he's the smartest person in the room, in any room he walks into. He seemed bored by the extradition hearing in Illinois. He seemed uninterested in his video arraignment. McKee is charged with murder and aggravated battery for allegedly shooting his ex-wife, Monique Tepe, and her dentist husband, Spencer Tepe, in their Columbus, Ohio home last month. He's also charged with aggravated burglary. The 39-year-old lived in Lincoln Park and was arrested earlier this month in Rockford, where he worked as a vascular surgeon. Then he was extradited to Ohio. The gun linked to the killing of his ex-wife and her new husband was found in his home in Lincoln Park, according to Columbus police. An unsealed police affidavit reveals McKee was captured on video outside the Tepes, Ohio home for several hours on December 6th, 3 weeks before the murders, while the couple was out of state. So I think the couple went to some sports event or something, a game, and this guy was in their home for hours, probably rummaging through their stuff and looking through everything. He's a creep. He's been stalking her. He's obsessed with her. So they have evidence that he was in their home when it was empty and they were out of town 3 weeks before he killed them. Police say McKee was also caught on camera near the Tepes home around the time of the murders. Investigators tracked his SUV from Columbus to Rockford, noting the vehicle has distinct features, including a stolen Ohio license plate. McKee's cell phone was left inactive at the hospital where he worked for 17 hours on the day of the murders, according to the court documents. So he left his phone behind, thinking that was going to save his ass, and there will be no proof that he was not at work in the hospital. He was committed to this course of conduct in an almost maniacal way, overriding common sense. The affidavit also reveals Monique Tepe had told family and friends that McKee he was abusive towards her, made threats to her life during and after their marriage, saying he could kill her at any time. Apparently, he would tell her all the time he would threaten her life and say that she would always be his wife no matter what. So he almost had ownership in his mind of her, and she was his, period, and he wasn't going to let that go. This is so sad. Their two little kids and dog were left unharmed, but now have no parents. And what a psycho. What a psycho. I mean, it's just, oh, he better be found guilty. That's all I know. Because he's pleading not guilty, which is obviously not the case. Yeah. This one is tough. This is a tough one because it's really upsetting. So tell me lies. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. Who's watching Tell Me Lies season 3? It's crazy. The theories out there, it's very funny. Um, yeah, it goes back and forth. So it goes back in time, then present time, back in time, present time. Um, so Bree, in this last episode, she goes to visit her real mom. Her real mom in the show, is that her real mom in real life? Because they casted her perfectly. She looks just like her. She's so cute. She looks just like Bree, very young. So that was a good job if that's not her real mom. And it ends up she goes with Wrigley because Pippa wants to stay behind and go to the pool party because she wants to see Diane. And so she tells Wrigley, why don't you take her into town to see her mom? Because he wanted to get out of town and get a break from everything. So all of a sudden, Wrigley and Bree have this thing going on, which this came out of nowhere. It's like, what? All of a sudden, they have this chemistry, and he's looking at her away, and she's looking at him in a way. I've never seen this before this episode, so that was interesting. They kind of connect, and it was a weird visit with her mom. Her mom just seemed to be doing her best to play it cool. You could tell the mom was a little uncomfortable when she said the word mom to her, like mom this or mom you're beautiful. When she was taking the photos of her, they meet in a diner and she's just kind of talking to her as if she's just somebody, like anybody, not like she's a daughter that she completely failed in life. Your daughter was in foster care, you weren't there for her, and you offer no apologies, just you want to hang out like buddies. It's very weird. It made me really sad. um she just kind of played it off like, oh, I used to know you. And then it was interesting too how Brie was like, oh, because we lived together all this time. And the mom was like, I think it was only a month. So Brie has this memory of being with her mom or living with her mom much longer than she did. It's just so interesting how you think back as a kid and you see things one way, but you realize it wasn't like that at all. And your memory's different. So I enjoy that complexity of that kind of situation coming back together. So at the end of the night, they drop the mom off, and the mom, she acts like, let's do something in the summer. I don't have any plans, Brie tells her. And she's like, oh, you could come to that, I forgot, the Jersey Shore or something. And we'll see if that happens. It probably won't. And because she kind of looked at her sad, I'm just telling you this because this is what you want to hear type of thing. The mom sounds like she seemed like she just wants to live her life and not really be a mom and make up for lost time or anything. And then so they go back to the hotel, and Wrigley takes her to the pool because she says she doesn't know how to swim, and he tries to help her swim, and they have this moment. So that's new. And then Stephen finds out Diane is pregnant because Evan tells him, and her friend tells him. So for a moment, it seemed like he was going to ask her to keep it. I have this weird thing with abortion. Not weird as far as like, I'm not judging people that do it, but just the thought of it is funny to me. Not funny, but weird. The fact that anyone ever came up with doing that in the first place as an option, I think that's odd. Um, the whole thing is just weirds me out. But anyways, Diane sitting in the Planned Parenthood for her meeting, she gets a call from her dad that she was accepted into Yale, and she walks in like as she's going into her appointment with a smile on her face, and that creeped me out. There's some theories that maybe she didn't go through with it and she hid it from everyone, and that her and Pippa are raising the baby. I didn't see any proof of that in the show, so that's just a theory. I doubt that, but Steven, so Diane is unraveling a little bit because she was very meticulous about making him think she didn't do well on her scores, and she wasn't going to get in anywhere, and that's why, so he would dump her and all that, so he would lose interest in her because now she's not his meal ticket. But then this season, she is dropping the ball by A, letting him find out about the pregnancy, B, um, admitting that she did get in and she did have good scores, and she did it just to get away from him. So I think that's dangerous because he's obviously insane. And so she's dropping the ball a little bit. I don't know if it's because I don't know, she's a bad liar or whatever. She can't hold it in. But now he's going to try to get her back, as far as get her back, revenge wise. And he emails some nudes of her, or half naked photos. Did he email them to her or to, I don't know who he emailed them to. I couldn't tell. But as someone that's going to law school, that's illegal. So that's kind of stupid of Steven to do that. And I don't see why a law school, I don't know. How did he know who to send it to so quickly? I don't know who he sent it to, but he's trying to sabotage her being able to get into law school. So we'll see what happens with that. And when Diana sits with Lucy, and Lucy's telling her about how she lied about the guy that violated Pippa, and she said it was her, but she lied so she can help Pippa. Diane's like, "You are the worst decision maker of life," and I felt that because she is. Lucy drives me crazy. Um, Everyone out here is saying this is what happens when someone manipulates you and all this stuff. But guess what? Lucy is Lucy's problem. Lucy had every chance to get out of the relationship. You are responsible. Yes, when you're young, you're stupid. I get that. But you are also responsible for your actions no matter what. And, Diane dated him too. And Diane's not making the dumbass decisions that Lucy is. So, and keeps going back to him. And she saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and Lucy doesn't. So Lucy herself is toxic. You know what Lucy's giving? And I hate to say this, but it's my thoughts. Lucy and Tell Me Lies is giving Taylor Frankie Paul in Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. That toxicity, and you're likable, but you're also the most frustrating person to see and look at because of what you're doing and your decisions. You try to act like you don't want it, but at the end of the day, you are part of the problem. Which, by the way, I don't know if it's true, but I saw a post that someone said they have insider knowledge that Taylor Frankie Paul on The Bachelorette found out she was pregnant mid filming and that all the guys were devastated and blindsided. And I just can't believe that's true. There's no way, because that would be insane if she was pregnant again with whatever, what's that guy's name? Dakota's baby. I don't think that's true because I don't know. It's probably not true, but that was a rumor. Okay, back to Tell Me Lies. So Steven gets into Yale and he's so excited. And it was so satisfying to see that he had no one to call. You know, he had no one there for him to celebrate his win. And even Wrigley kind of brushed him off. And Wrigley's done with Steven. Um, which makes him seem like such a better guy than Evan because he's more real. And that's why everyone wants Bree with Wrigley, because he seems to really see Bree for who she is and really talk about her life and listen to her and be more real and like be fed up with Steven and call him out. And Evan's just getting closer to Steven and wanting Bree Paw because she's hot, not because he sees her for who she is. So that's why, now everyone's like, oh my God, you better end up with Wrigley. But she's already married to Evan, so she would have to get divorced. I mean, I don't know how many episodes are left, but I don't know how they can fit in so many things that need to wrap up, all these loose ends. Um, and then Lucy's dating this new guy. Well, not even dating, they're hooking up with that guy, Alex, that went to foster care with Bree a long time ago, and he's kind of cute. And he's saying he doesn't want a relationship, and he's saying, but he could tell he's emotionally more in a better place and more mature than Lucy, even though he went through foster care and had a rougher life. Lucy has parents and a better upbringing, and she's a mess. So she's hooking up with him, but she's trying to make him abuse her sexually, well, during intimacy. And then he feels weird about it because he's like, you're kind of screwed up and I don't want to be screwing you up more. She's like, no, please do it. And then the end of the episode, it's complete disturbing. Obviously these are all spoilers, so don't listen if you don't want to hear. But she starts listening to Steven's abusive voicemail and she starts being intimate with herself, which is so wild. I hope young girls don't watch this show and think that's cool because that's crazy. Um, and then Lucy, she could have just told the girl that was assaulted that she lied about it and it was her friend and not her. Why didn't she just say that? She keeps digging her hole deeper and deeper. Um, yeah. So another theory. So obviously we know Wrigley called Bree on the phone at her wedding and she's telling him this is my chance at a real family, blah blah blah. Um, but they're saying that maybe Bree's pregnant with Evan's baby, and that's why she said that. But again, theories, rumors. Um, yeah, it's just so crazy. It's funny because this is one of those shows that everything is a clue. And Steven's sitting there watching Wrigley look at Bree from the dance floor and that intense look, and then he figures out something's going on, and then he looks at Wrigley's phone that is left unlocked. Who does that? Nobody leaves their phone unlocked on the phone. So did Wrigley do that on purpose? Did he want Steven to see that? There's so much going on. It's kind of, you can't look at your phone and watch a show. You have to really pay attention, or you're gonna miss the clues and you're gonna miss the context. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think that guy Alex should run from Lucy because she's a mess. I think Bree should dump Evan and go with Wrigley. I think. Oh, and then when Wrigley was dancing with Pippa's already with Diane. Obviously, Wrigley's okay with it. He's there. They say all say hi. He's like, I think he tells, Pippa, I'm just here pretending you're the one I was still in love with. Does Pippa know that he's in love with Brie? I feel like he said something to that effect. I'm just here trying to pretend you were the one that I wasn't still in love with or something. I don't know. It was weird. I think Pippa might know. I love that Pippa and Wrigley are so friendly and close still, even after they broke up, which shows what a nice guy Wrigley is. Because he's actually friends with Pippa, and that just shows. Like when Bree and Evan broke up, they still weren't. They didn't stay as friendly, even though he did cheat on her. But so did Pippa cheated on Wrigley. So I just feel like Wrigley's a more down to earth, deeper person, which makes him so lovable. He does have a drinking problem though. When he shows up at the rehearsal party or whatever, and he's drinking too much, that's not great. But I'm sure he could, fix that. Um, yeah, whatever. So, all right, we'll stay tuned for next week. It's such a good show, and we'll recap next week. Next time, that's all I have for you. Enjoy till next time, and probably till Super Bowl. Bye.